The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report. 5 more minutes. I think, you know what? Let's do some stuff here. You know, we debuted a new episode this past Wednesday, the PWR Profile, which is going to fill in Wednesdays now, where now for most weeks we'll be on 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Sometimes
Really?
6 with the book with the post show on Sundays. Why not?
This is way too much
They love
programming.
me out there,
They
so
love
I want to
you.
continue to put myself out there in front of them.
You put yourself over out there in front of them.
I don't do that. They do it for me. PWR 5.
Yes.
Just 5.
Brought to you by King Kong Bundy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 5 count. Just PWR 5. So it just happened. Brand new name of this show. PWR 5.
I like it.
Did you talk to Frank about that?
Hey,
He's the marketing director.
whatever you
know.
and Frank work out, you and Frank work out.
Damian Nelson sitting here alongside David Octavius Tiberius, the alleged one-time Backyard Divas Hall
Just
of
so
Famer.
you know, I'm getting my ring resized. I will have it in Miami with me. My Hall of Fame ring.
This week on The 5, we're going to talk more about WWE, only because there was so much going on, we didn't get a chance to talk about
Way
Smackdown.
too much.
And it was a very newsworthy Smackdown last night on, I almost said UPN. For
Your
God's
boy
sake,
is in big
on
trouble.
Sci-Fi. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? The endorsement line continues to grow, continues to get put on the top of the card. As announced for WrestleMania, it will be in a one-on-one Intercontinental Championship title matchup. Cody Rhodes defending successfully against The Big Show. This match is here for one reason and one reason only, and that is to establish Cody Rhodes as a main event player on a main event stage at WrestleMania. David Hero, let the hatred begin.
Listen, I am not hating on Cody Rhodes right now.
He's been your star of the week in the past.
All I'm saying is your boy, Cody, is in for a long night in Miami.
He is, and he's going to succeed.
He has bullied, he has picked on, he has instigated, he has ridiculed the largest athlete in professional wrestling, The Big Show.
It's not his fault Big Show embarrasses himself at WrestleMania.
And WrestleMania will be the WrestleMania moment for The Big Show when he knocks out Cody Rhodes. You better get plenty of Jameson, lots of bags of ice, because God knows you're going to need it.
I've invited Cody to the Shenanigans Beach Party, by the way. If
Yes,
he shows up,
I understand that.
first thing he's going to do is punch you right in the throat to steal one of your lines.
He can't punch me in the throat. He might
We've
get,
worked
he
it
might
all
get
out.
to here.
We've worked it all out.
You're going to get him a stepladder? Come on.
Don't you? I'm not going to share secrets.
I am not going to be his sparring partner, so he knows what it's like to wrestle a giant.
Oh, so for the love of God. Really? Really? You just compared yourself to the Big Show? Did that just happen?
Well, he needs someone of size to, try some new moves, and he's not going to try no moves on me.
In all seriousness, this is huge for not only Cody Rhodes, but for the Intercontinental Championship, which I could be wrong, but I don't think I am because I rarely am. Hasn't been defended at a WrestleMania since WrestleMania 17 in Houston, I believe. This is a big moment for that championship and for Cody Rhodes, who beat Rey Mysterio last year at WrestleMania, let's not forget.
A guy half his size. Now he's wrestling a guy that is 4 times. There is no way he can beat the Big. Why would the Big Show agree to lose to Cody Rhodes? Why?
What do you mean agree to lose to Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes is just going to beat him.
Cody
Rhodes, let me go ahead and guarantee you something out there in the viewing audience.
Please.
April 2nd, 2012. No, let's back up a little bit. April 1st, 2012, about, let's say, midnight, 1 o'clock a.m. This guy's going to be celebrating with the Intercontinental Champion for his victory.
The Big Show?
For his victory that night at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes will retain the Intercontinental Championship against the Big Show at WrestleMania. No doubt about it.
There is no
They've all assimilated. I don't know what you're waiting for.
You know what? Cody looks jacked. He looks in fantastic shape.
That show was canceled a long time
He's
ago.
actually believable right now as the IC champion. I will give him credit where credit is due. Cody Rhodes has definitely in the last year changed his game.
Gee, since about when I endorsed him.
That's fine. You know what? Congratulations. You finally picked a winner.
Finally picked a winner. Dolph Ziggler's a winner. The Miz was a winner. Crimson's a winner.
What has The Miz done? Nothing.
Oh, because
Let's
you are going to
talk
completely
about
forget his
let's
multi-month
talk about
reign
the Miz.
as WWE champion
He
and his
has
headlining
to
of WrestleMania last
beg
year.
for a match at WrestleMania. Then a guy comes out in his suit during commercial break on Raw and pedigrees him.
They didn't see that.
Well, PWRshow.com has plenty of that kind of stuff on there. But let's just say this. Cody Rhodes in the Big Show has potential to be an entertaining match. It's gonna.
You just can't do it. You just cannot do it.
Look at the size difference.
Okay.
How many times have there been a good match between a David and Goliath when David's been the heel?
Last year, Cody was David. I'm sorry, Cody was Goliath. Ray was David.
Yes, but it's completely different. David was the babyface. Now, I'm talking about myself here, but now Cody's going to be the heel. He's playing the role of David. Goliath is the babyface in Big Show.
I cannot wait, and I mean this with all sincerity. I cannot wait for the moment that you and Cody come face to face in Miami. Only because
Listen.
it's going to be fine. I'm sure you guys will have a great conversation. I still remember when you and the Pope reconciled.
His girlfriend is efforting to get the two of us together. She has reached out to me and says, you two need
That
to
was a
bury the
Seinfeld
hatchet.
episode, wasn't it?
I don't know.
She's into it?
And hey, listen, was I wrong about the Pope? Not even close.
No, but apparently you're feeding stuff to CM Punk to say on
I am
on
not
television.
saying anything about... What is it up with CM Punk and now the Pope and Chris Brown?
What do they have in common?
He's just ripping on both guys all
Did the
of a
Pope
sudden.
date Rihanna?
I don't know who the Pope's been dating.
Andy, are we in overtime yet? That's why it's just 5 now.
We're done?
No, we're in overtime because we need to talk about a big firing that occurred last night on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre fired by Teddy Long after losing to Justin Gabriel.
You know what? And that is great for Drew McIntyre because I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar that he will wind up on Raw at the right-hand side of Johnny Ace. So then it's Drew McIntyre and David Otunga and Johnny Ace to wrestle at WrestleMania. Santino Marella, Teddy Long, and someone to be named later.
2 things of note here. Drew McIntyre, there's been a repackaging speculated on for a while. He did work a house show as a character very similar to that of Billy and Chuck recently. He also...
What, jacked up dudes?
He also...
Whoa. What kind of character are we talking about here? This is the online version. Come on.
This is the online version.
Yes.
Well, he was very friendly with a lot of audience members, including male audience members, and very, very protective of his hair during that matchup at a house show, I believe.
So
in
he's
Los
pulling an Adrian Adonis, is what you're saying.
Sure, very similar to Adrian Adonis.
Adorable Adrian is back, but as Drew McIntyre. Delicious Drew McIntyre.
At a house show. The other thing is, we know that Johnny Ace is going to be in charge of SmackDown next week. Teddy Long's going to be in charge of Raw. So why wouldn't Ace reinstate Drew next Friday on SmackDown? He can.
That would
Timing's
suck.
everything.
That would be brutal.
Drew McIntyre, and maybe let's profile Drew McIntyre next week. We'll do that next week on PWR Profile on Wednesday. But Drew McIntyre's a great talent. He may not do so well in hotel rooms, and maybe that's why this is a problem.
Are you kidding me? You're bringing that up?
Oh, well, okay. Let's be real here. Ever since that happened, Drew McIntyre has been the Titanic, and there was no iceberg.
Ouch, bro.
It's the fact. I'm not saying.
So
that
because his wife beat him up, you're saying he's getting buried?
Well, had he hit her back, you'd see how all the fans would have reacted, yet forgetting about certain major stars who did the same thing and ran away in their car.
That's stone cold, bro. Seriously.
A very active SmackDown last night. Sheamus continues to look very strong, as does Big Show, but not Mark Henry.
You know what? Poor Mark Henry. Holy crap. What did he do? Seriously. He was unstoppable.
Right.
For like ever. And now all of a sudden it's like, going into his Hall of Fame induction weekend, he does the 30-second job in the tag match.
Who's Hall of Fame induction weekend?
Mark Henry in
He's
the
not getting in.
International Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's it.
That sucks for him. So, Mark, how'd you do on Raw? Oh, I lost in 30 seconds. But you're the world's strongest man. Not anymore. Bad news.
It's this week's SmackDown, and
I'm not done talking about SmackDown. Let's talk about Sheamus. He is on a roll right now. He is dominating. and that makes me nervous. He is doing way too well. He's not showing any signs of being human. He's just dominating. And then when you got a sneaky champion like Daniel Bryan Danielson right now, who seems to scoot out of the ring every chance he gets, makes
You got to
me
beat the
nervous.
champ. Champ doesn't have to beat you.
Exactly, and that makes me nervous for Sheamus going into WrestleMania. If they really want to establish DBD as a legitimate main event contender, they did the right thing by having him go over it in the chamber, and now let him win his first ever WrestleMania match against Sheamus.
One other big thing of note on SmackDown was not only the return of Randy Orton, but the appearance of Kane at the end of that matchup.
Big Daddy Kane.
Welcoming back Randy Orton. Could we see those two mix it up at WrestleMania?
This reminds me of WrestleMania Rock versus Hogan.
18th, Toronto,
when
Ontario.
Stone Cold got demoted to wrestling
Scott Hall.
Scott Hall. Hey yo. and now Kane and Randy Orton, possible WrestleMania match. Randy Orton cannot be pleased, but that just goes to show you once again how they have done nothing to build other talents up on that SmackDown brand to give Randy Orton something to do.
Oh, it could be Orton and Cody Rhodes. That could be a good matchup. I mean, there's no sense behind it right now.
Randy Orton would rather would rather wrestle Kane in a street fight match than go after the secondary title on the SmackDown brand.
We'll see how that develops over the course of the next couple of weeks on the SmackDown on the Blue Team side of things. We're going to take a time out, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, more discussion on The Rock and John Cena and our comparison to a certain two superstars back in 1996 and 7 who also hated each other. This is the Pro Wrestling Report 5 right here at pwrshow.com.
Saturday, March 31st. History will be made for internet wrestling fans. 3 of the biggest shows for wrestling commentary will come together for a WrestleMania weekend special. Pro Wrestling Report's Damian Nelson and David Hero will join with Aftermath's Artur O'Cal and Jimmy Corderas, who will join with Chairshot Reality's Justin LaBar and Josh Eisenberg for a WrestleMania special weekend. Friday from 7 till close, join the 3 shows at the 2nd annual Kevin Nash WrestleMania party at Ocean's 10. VIP tickets are $99. General admission ticket is $15. Tickets can be purchased at pwrshow.com. Saturday, history will be made as the 3 shows come together on camera. 1 p.m. at Shucker's Bar and Grill. Come be a part of the taping for the WrestleMania special that will air WrestleMania Sunday on WrestleZone.com. All ages are welcome to come get their face on camera during the taping, then hang out with the whole crew on the beautiful patio at Shucker's Bar and Grill.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report 5. Right here at pwrshow.com. Damian Nelson sitting alongside.
I'm not used to that yet.
That one. 5?
Yeah.
You just don't like change?
No, I love change. But I'm just not used to just 5.
5.
Hey, you know what?
It's not 5 more minutes. I mean, I don't want to lie to the audience.
We can't hashtag it 5, though, because Bundy owns that.
We can use the number, not the letters. He spells it.
Yes, absolutely.
We're talking about this past Monday's WWE Raw and the big thing to come of it, which was, of course, the verbal battle, the throwdown, if you will, between The Rock and John Cena. And we talked about it in prime time, but there's some other things I think that are of note that are worth discussing as it pertains to that this past Monday night.
You know, if you were just to jot the stuff on your wrist instead of all these sheets, you'd be far more organized. Look at the mess you got here. I have everything I need right there. Just saying.
There's definite realism to this story. If it's manipulated to the fact where it isn't real and it's being shown to us as being real, and The Rock and John Cena are just doing a great job at that, I'm fine with it. But there have been several comments from key people in the wrestling industry that make you realize how real this is. And we're going to share with you some of those comments that have been posted online since The Rock and John Cena went face-to-face this past Monday night. And the first of which comes from good old Uncle JR, Jim Ross. You know, my mentor, my idol, the man who really inspired me.
Barbecue sauce?
He inspired me to get into the professional wrestling broadcasting field. You know, I was just checking. I was having lunch the other day in the office, and I went to get some of JR's mustard. And I looked at the expiration date, and it has just expired. I got to order more. I wasn't able to enjoy my meal.
So you have it. So it must not be that good if you haven't used it all up right away.
I bought a lot. I'm a supporter. Here's what Jim Ross had to say. Here's what Jim Ross had to say, and he did so on Twitter. He said, now this was all during the Raw this past Monday night, and I quote, "John Cena calling The Rock an SOB tonight shocked me and made me uncomfortable. Sounded more personal than in a professional context, in my opinion. It's getting personal. John Cena and The Rock, legit, guaranteed, no BS."
It is. I mean, some of the people that I've talked to in the past week, they all said the same thing. They didn't like it. They thought it got too personal. A lot of real stuff going on there. This is a freaking powder keg. I mean, CM Punk may have his pipe bombs. This thing is far worse than a pipe bomb about to go off here.
You know what's great about the pipe bomb, though, as you make that reference? What CM Punk says, in general, is what he believes, and it is real. When he talks about the Miz's spray tan, that's personal.
Absolutely. But that's funny, haha. He never called the Miz a son of a bitch.
He did call him and excuse my language here, but he did call him in the context of a James Bond film of years ago, an octa blank. That's when the first time the spray tan thing came out.
Punk also called the Pope a diva. What is... Pope's a bully. Or Punk's a bully lately, hasn't he? Yelling at people. But, you know, you're getting off track here. Let's go back to Cena and Rock.
I, with all the papers in front of me, am getting off track.
I got to get back to my notes. Rock and Cena, Cena and Rock. I wish that this would have been the promo going into WrestleMania. Because it was such a big, heaping mound of confusion.
Doubt,
uncertainty. I think that would have made it a better story because now no one knows what route it's going to be going.
Doubt and uncertainty over what?
Just who really has the upper hand. Now they're going to have 3 weeks, 4 weeks to make a mess out of it. You know, they had the perfect storm Monday night. The perfect storm on Monday night. They could have just gone right into the match and let it be a fight. Now it's going to be everybody looking over their shoulder. They're going to be wondering, okay, who's saying what? Where is the hidden agenda? What's the hidden meaning? What is that cryptic speak they're talking about? It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to see how the next few weeks play out.
Next comment came from Mick Foley, former multi-time wrestling champion, said this also via Twitter, and I quote, "That promo felt kind of uncomfortable to watch. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing." And that's a great summary statement for what we saw Monday night, because watching it initially, it's like, I don't know if I should be watching this. And you still loved it at the same time, but you wondered what was going on. I guess uncomfortable is a great word to sum it up.
And Mick Foley would know. I mean, he's done some great promos in the past.
Yeah.
He's made some uncomfortable promos in the past. And he's friends with both guys.
What page are you on in his book? Because that was an uncomfortable promo.
Not for me. Hell, I'm published.
Oh, you're cynical, he says.
And you're in the book as well, too.
I am, page 99.
Yeah, sitting next to Dixie.
Well, we're friends.
You are pals. Or is it just a big work? Is it another big Brian Pillman work? That these two guys know what they're doing?
I respect you, Booker man.
It's going to be interesting. Lots of money to be made at WrestleMania this year.
A final statement comes from the wrestling god, JBL. He says on his Facebook page a quite lengthy explanation from his standpoint. I'll read it as he said. "I hear the resentment/jealousy. And this is more so talking about, let me back up a little bit, this is more so talking about going into the promo on Monday night where the reports had gotten out about those who were unhappy about The Rock being a part of WrestleMania, a line and a direction in which John Cena has spoken in as well. JBL says, and I quote, "I hear the resentment/jealousy of The Rock backstage, and I quite frankly don't believe it. 4 of the world's biggest superstars in Cena, Rock, Undertaker and Triple H will headline WrestleMania. This is huge for WWE and the business. Guys should be dying to be on this card, and my guess is that they are. JBL continues on by saying, it's very simple to those who don't have any problem with it. If there is anyone that truly does replace them, and there won't be a spot for them. Until then, just say, thanks. There is a reason why Jericho and others can always come back. They earned that right, and they still draw. Shawn Michaels does as well. CM Punk and John Cena earned the right to be on top. JBL continues. A lot of interesting things being said here, and I quote, if these guys ever quit drawing, then they know it's time to hang it up. That hasn't happened yet, and I hope it won't. Piper and Diesel are guys who can still draw interest and create buzz. Shows how great these guys are that they still create interest. It's Darwinian. Once they stop or are replaced, then you won't see them anymore. Batista would draw if he decides to return.
Absolutely, he would. I mean, there's a few other guys from the Attitude Era that would draw again, but JBL is essentially agreeing with what we've been saying. No new stars have been made. No one else has taken the spots.
He didn't say that because he put CM Punk in that category.
He had to. It was the right thing to say. Punk and Cena are the two biggest stars on the Raw brand right now.
So many people chiming in on what is such a sensitive issue. That the current state of WWE, that the situation between The Rock and John Cena. As you talk about a sensitive issue, as you talk about uncomfortable, as you talk about real hatred for people, for each other, if you will, there are two stories and two situations I want to talk about and compare The Rock and John Cena to. One being that of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, the other being that of Vince Russo and Hulk Hogan. We're going to do that when we come back right here on the Pro Wrestling Report 5, looking more detailed and in-depthly at this week's wrestling happenings.
Miami, South Beach, the biggest wrestling event of the year. Bikinis, booze, and beaches. And the biggest wrestling party ever. The Pro Wrestling Report presents the Shenanigans Beach Party, hosted by Big Sexy Kevin Nash and Sean X-Pac Waltman. Join us at one of the best clubs on South Beach, Ocean's 10, located at 960 Ocean Drive, on Friday, March 30th, starting at 7 p.m. for live music, bands, drinks, and a ton of shenanigans. The Shenanigans Beach Party will feature appearances by Billy Gunn, TNA TV champion Robbie E., former WWE Tag Team Champions The Headbangers, Shane Hurricane Helms, along with others, and special appearances by Arda Ocal and Jimmy Corderas of The Score, Justin LaBar, and Josh Eisenberg of Chairshot's Reality, and the PWR team of Damian Nelson, David Hero, and the Coyote Ugly Calendar Girl, Linda Kay. Tickets for the biggest wrestling party ever are on sale now at pwrshow.com and start at just $15. VIP tickets, which include a private meet and greet along with early access, are available for only $99 each, but quantities are very limited, so buy now. Tickets are going fast for the PWR Shenanigans Beach Party, so buy yours now only at pwrshow.com. And don't miss out on the biggest wrestling party ever. Hosted by Kevin Nash and Sean Waltman.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report 5. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius Tiberius. I'm sick of saying it, Hero.
Great. Just say the Hall of Famer, because it's a lot less time-consuming.
Seen the birth certificate.
I'll show you the ring.
Some great discussion topics this week on 5. And what we're talking about now is The Rock and John Cena. We went over some of the comments that...
we're still talking about The Rock and John Cena?
It's pretty noteworthy. Check your notes.
Shoot. Sorry.
I want to compare, though, the realism behind this angle to two things that in recent history, the last 10, 15 years, had personal drama between two big stars. And one of them was in WCW. I believe this occurred in '99 or 2000. You know, the finger poke of doom, or the lay down moment, or when Hogan got screwed out of the championship. Bash at the beach. There was true, genuine hatred between Vince Russo and Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, who had full creative control. What is this?
I love you guys. This is a great show. Great. I love this show. Love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Fix, tremendous. He meant he loves me.
Yeah, he kissed you first, absolutely.
Vince Russo, Hulk Hogan, bash at the beach. Hogan lays down, or Hogan doesn't lay down. Hogan won't relinquish the championship. He's got creative control. Vince Russo screws him. Hogan then sues WCW later on for being his reputation being damaged. I believe it was libel or defamation he sued him for.
That was all underlying. It was all stuff that was boiling underneath that people didn't really see out front until it actually happened.
So it wasn't on Front Street, it was on Back Street?
It was on Back Street, absolutely.
Back Street's back. All right. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Obviously. And then after that was the death of WCW.
Shortly thereafter, within a year, yeah. Less than a year. You should have put the clock on that.
The clock block. I couldn't do that.
More importantly and more easy to compare, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. We've learned a lot over the 10 years plus since that whole screw job happened.
Those two guys.
But it was so much beforehand. Bret Hart hated Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels at the time hated Shawn Michaels, but Shawn Michaels at the time hated Bret Hart. And I would say this, especially if you watched that DVD released by WWE of the two of them explaining their drama. Bret Hart still hates Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels has gotten over the issues with Bret Hart, but it's a lot easier for Shawn Michaels to have gotten over those issues. But those two hated each other. The promos, you felt that same realism in the stuff that Shawn Michaels said. And I vividly remember Bret Hart calling Shawn Michaels out for being on the cover of Playgirl. Mm-hmm. That was personal.
The only dynamic that's really missing with Rock and Cena is that Sonny's not involved somewhere. Other than that,
she's involved somewhere, I'm sure.
Well, there's so much heat and emotion between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and Cena and Rock that I'm telling you, the boys in the back, it will be standing room only in the gorilla position watching this match. Because at one point, The Rock, he's in fantastic shape, and so is John Cena. They're going to try to blow each other up. They're going to try...
Which is personal.
Absolutely.
Which is personal.
And The Rock is going to be in tremendous shape like he always is, and so is John Cena. But both these guys have never really worked a long match. I mean, if they go 15, 20 minutes, that's a long time for them. That's a Ric Flair hour-long draw.
John Cena can do it. Arguably better than The Rock. And let's not forget, we recently learned that when The Rock goes on his movie shoots, he's got a wrestling ring with him, and he's practicing.
Well, he needs to. He's got to get the ring rust off. I mean, he's not in the ring every night, 3 or 4 nights a week.
In front of an audience with an opponent, exactly.
And John Cena won't be either, because as we've heard, Vinnie Mac has pretty much put everybody on notice, do not hurt the golden goose.
And some people, no, and I think that is getting a bum rap, because you've got to protect your investments.
Absolutely.
And look at the Ortons of the world. Look at so many injuries on David Hero's Super Friend team, and John Cena is a Super Friend. Vince McMahon is aware of this. That's why he put that edict out. That's why he did that.
So it's my fault.
Well, look at your team. Injured, fired, suspended, injured, irrelevant.
If I'm Vince McMahon, John Cena does not step foot in the ring for anything physical from now until April 1st.
You got to do that. There's
no reason. Look at ADR, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, Mark Henry, Undertaker, all these guys that have gotten hurt.
Then on the other hand, look at Cody Rhodes, look at Heath Slater, look at Brodus Clay.
I wish I could look at Heath Slater, but where's he on TV?
He wrestled on Smackdown this past Friday night. He had a great matchup with Santino Marella.
Okay. He lost to a sock.
So anybody Mick Foley beat with Sacco?
No, Mick Foley was a world champion. Lost to the Mandible Claw.
I'm done with you. That's this week's edition of PWR 5. I want to remind you to tune in for PWR Monday Night Meltdown every Monday night on Blog Talk Radio. Still remains Blog Talk Radio's most popular.
Monday nights, right?
10 o'clock p.m. right after WWE Raw Central Time. Still remains Blog Talk Radio's most popular sports show.
You're welcome.
Day in and day out. I attribute Matthew Thomas to that, actually.
Young Matthew?
Young Matthew. Sir Matthew.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you very much for checking us out on Facebook as well. Very important. Go and visit our new Facebook page, facebook.com/PWR show. And as you've seen and heard about over the course of the last couple of weeks, big television taping in Miami.
Huge.
On March 31st, where the wrestling minds come together. You can be there with us as well. Details at pwrshow.com. But even more important than that, the Shenanigans Beach Party on South Beach. Look, when we say this is on South Beach, Ocean Drive, a little bit of grass, sand, the ocean.
Lots of beaches.
That's what's between you and South Beach. Friday night, March 30th.
Have
Kevin
you seen
Nash.
the guest list? Huh.
Kevin
ridiculous.
Nash. TNA champion Robbie E. World TV champion Robbie E. The Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher. Billy Gunn. Shane Hurricane Helms. It is a tremendous amount of talent. And you, if you are a VIP, will be able to get in before everybody else, be able to party, be able to meet and greet many of those same stars. And general admission gets you in as well, and you get the opportunity to stand and wait to meet those same stars. It is the biggest party event of Miami. Right now, pwrshow.com, directions on how to get there from Access, how to get there from Wrestle Reunion, and all the details on Ocean's 10 on South Beach, which is offering actually a drink special as well for our VIP guests on that night.
Of course. Jameson on the rocks.
It's this week's edition of the Pro Wrestling Report. 5 for that one. I'm on my way to Super Tuesday. See me on CNN Tuesday night. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you again soon.